Hi, I'm Matthew Ridout, and my email partner is Emily.
My name is Matt Hanley, and my email partner is Ben Haverland.
I'm Brian Curry, and my email partner is Emily Ross.
And we will today be discussing Robert Cormier's, we never did figure that out, Tunes for Bears to Dance to.
No one ever gets my name right. It's fine. Doesn't matter.
You're listening to Iowa Public Radio, where loud noises scare us all and bright lights make us wet ourselves. Thank you for joining us today as we simulcast on DirecTV's satellite network channel 4055, because nobody's watching there either. My name is Kai Risborn, and I am here hosting today Books We Love to Cherish, cherishing books that we love, holding them close to our bosoms, and loving them forever. We're working on a shorter name. I have the privilege and honor of being joined today by author of Tunes for Bears to Dance to, the youth lit book we'll be discussing today, Robert Cormier.
Cormier.
Thank you. My apologies.
No problem.
You'll be getting a fruit basket from us here at Iowa's Public Radio if we raise enough money today.
I don't like fruit.
Also joining us through the vortex is actually one of the characters from the book, the lead character, young Henry. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Not at all.
Thank you for having me.
Very happy to do it. And don't forget, our number is 1-800-555-1212. We are fundraising all day long. Please call in with your things. Don't speak to our operators loudly. They get very frightened as well. And please don't be alarmed by the sunglasses. I'm a vampire. The kids like the vampires, and we want to make sure that we reach the young folk. We want to be hip and swing.
Let's get on with it.
Oh, I'm sorry to be taking up your time, Mr. Cormier.
No problem.
First, let's talk a little bit about the book. Young Henry has moved from one village in his home in the aftermath of World War II and into another one. I'd like to start with you, Henry. Can you talk a little bit to us about why you moved and what your new home life was like?
Well, it all started when my older brother died. He was a great baseball player, and his life was tragically taken away by a drunk driver, and my parents just wanted to get away from it all, so we moved to a new town, and I was lucky enough to find a new job under Mr. Hairston. He had owned a grocery shop, and I worked there. I stocked shelves because he was too old to do a lot of the work, and it was really a life-changing experience.
Dramatic, compelling stuff, young Henry. Thank you. And then, Mr. Cormier, would you care to tell us a little bit about the relationship that he had with his new boss and how that developed and what you were thinking in your glorious head?
Well, I guess you could say that I thought the relationship was pretty simple at first, but then it sort of develops into this sinister sort of thing where this older gentleman, who you kind of see as a benign character, becomes this tyrannical force, a dictator who is just symbolic of all of the evil that's present in the world, which no one's doing anything about as far as I can tell. So that's what I was thinking in this brilliant head of mine, as you say.
Yes, and a glorious head. Thank you for that. Absolutely dreamy author Robert Cormier. Cormier.
Get it right.
Cormier.
Cormier.
I'm going to call you Smith because I don't know.
That's not right.
Henry, the grocery store owner, Mr. Hairston. Could you talk a little bit about what he's like and your relationship with him in the book?
Well, when I first started working under Mr. Hairston, it wasn't too bad, you know. I did a lot of the work that he's too old to do, as I mentioned before, but over time, I just noticed he became, very mouthy. He talked down about a lot of people, mainly people of the Jewish faith, and just whenever I told him I had some sort of relationship with any member of the Jewish faith, he just fell into this kind of dark kind of trance, and it was really sinister, and he was kind of evil, and I wasn't really comfortable with working day to day.
And finally, Mr. Cormier to take us to
Cormier.
to take us to the penultimate portion of the book. Could you please describe to us the relationship he has with Mr. Levine, the old man that he meets in the story?
Well, Mr. Levine, don't touch me with that, is a person who has been affected greatly by the evil in the world and has been sort of driven sort of to the edge of insanity and back. And so we have our protagonist, Henry, who is sort of symbolic of all that is good and innocent in the world. And the story is really about how that innocent figure comes to terms with the presence of evil in the world.
Fascinating stuff. And please don't forget that our number is 1-800-555-1212 to give us your firstborn children and all your money so that we can keep fabulous programming like this on the air. Our programming today is also sponsored by another public television show, Car Talk. Car Talk. We don't know why you're watching either. Car Talk, Saturdays at noon on Iowa Public Radio. Also brought to us by one of the previous shows, and you gentlemen are welcome to partake of these at any point you might wish, Champagne Cupcakes from the Friday afternoon show, Plaid Granola and Whole Grain Pastries. Their name's terrible too. We're all working on new ones. Give more money. So, gentlemen, as I understand it from when I read the book, young Henry is in the new town and he wishes to join in Mr. Levine's wood carving at the local rec center to give him something to do while his parents are trying to settle into their new lives. But Mr. Hairston does not like the Jew, Mr. Levine. Would either of you care to tell us what it is that he wants Henry to do that is so, as you put, Mr. Cormier Smith?
Cormier.
Sinister.
Well, I guess I'll address that. Well, I told Mr. Hairston that I went down to the rec center. It was a pretty awkward experience getting there, but I told him that I met Mr. Levine. I didn't call him by name, but he knew that he was a member of the Jewish faith, and I told him that he was building a really large wooden sculpture. It was just a huge product over days and days upon work, just him leaving the hospital and going straight to the center and working for hours on end. And I told Mr. Hairston about it, and he offered me just splendor for just one small, simple thing, and that was to destroy the sculpture that Mr. Levine had carefully crafted over the past couple of years.
Compelling, dreamy, outrageous, sinister. So many words. The theme of racism so prevalent in this book, as we have Mr. Levine, who clearly has nothing but disdain for those of the Jewish faith and ethnicity and heritage. Ah, Mr. Hairston, thank you. I get my characters confused. But perhaps the most important thing, yes, and we're hoping everybody will give us money for me being an idiot. The most important theme, perhaps, is that of change. And I think we can all agree, for those who have read the book, that it is Henry who truly changes. It is a coming-of-age story. He does some growing up in the story. With last thoughts, Mr. Cormier, would you care to discuss the theme of change for our protagonist, Henry?
It's Cormier for the last time. Cormier.
Do you like my ascot?
No.
Thank you.
Change. As a theme in the story, it is a coming-of-age tale, as this guy over here has already said. Kind of taking my thunder. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. Everything changes. You're going to change. Tomorrow's going to be different. But there's still going to be some things that are the same, which is the presence of evil in the world and the fact that it's going to change you. And that's what I think the story is ultimately about.
Thank you, Robert Cormier. Cormier, you were a delight. You were delicious. Henry, I don't understand how you got here. You're not a real person. But thank you so much for joining us. I hope you were able to hear my whispering. And I'm getting word from our producers that we're nearly out of time, and I understand that we have raised absolutely $0, even though we're on simulcast. Can you hear the rage in my whispering? Why aren't you calling, children? Give us money. We have cupcakes. Don't you understand that for cupcakes there must be money? What would give you money? What would get you to give us money? What would it take? Does this entertain you? Is this the sort of thing that you can see on The Amazing Race and American Idol? No. Please, give us money. Delicious. Frosted.
Come on.
Thank you.
Come on. Let's go. Come on. It's all right.
Where am I?
It's all right, kids.
What day is it?
It's all right. Let's turn it off. Turn it off.